Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Player X here with the Semi Limited Podcast. Just would like to thank everyone for tuning in and checking out the podcast, and showing all that love that you guys been showing to our social networks and our pages and whatnot. We really do appreciate here, and it keeps us motivated and chugging on forward to make sure we bring the best podcasting platform to you guys. So thanks for supporting and showing love back. Before we get into today's episode, it's going to be a light one. Just want to bring up some news that's going on both here on the channel and in the Yu-Gi-Oh community as well. But before we get into that, I have a couple drops for you guys. We're going to make sure that you guys go down to that link tree link in the description box below. So that way you can follow all of our social sites. You can click on it. It'll bring up a tab which has all of our social sites on there. You can listen to the podcast, get all the links you need. Bing, bam, boom. Follow all the social medias. We definitely have some giveaways coming up. Starting to creep up there with the Instagram followers. So when we get Instagram and YouTube up to 100, which I think we're at like 80 almost for YouTube as well. And then when we get 50 followers for X and TikTok, we're going to be doing giveaways, whether it be a playmat, maybe some deck boxes, accessories, semi-limited merch, a playset of some cards. You guys never know what it might be. So be sure to join all those social sites and follow us, subscribe, like, hit those bells, whatever you got to do to make sure you get on these giveaways, guys. Also, shout out to Unplugged Gaming in Manlius, New York for sponsoring the podcast. Be sure to join their Discord server down in the description box as well to be a part of the TCG communities that they have going on there. They have all the TCG cards that you could think of. Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, One Piece, Lorcana, Digimon, all that stuff. You can go down there and be a part of all those communities that they have. Interact with some people, get some trades going on, see what's going on at the store. And if you go up there, be sure to mention that the boys over at Semi Limited sent you, and they'll be sure to make sure to hook you up. Speaking of Unplugged, as they are our sponsor, they will also be hosting our case tournament that we have, because Semi Limited Podcast will be sponsoring a Age of Overlord case tournament, and it's going to be this Saturday. So the day after you guys will be hearing this, on October 21st, Saturday, which is going to be at 1 p.m. at Unplugged Gaming in Manlius, New York. A case of the newest set, Age of Overlord, will be up for grabs and split amongst the top cut for placing. You can be sure to enter for $25, and it's going to include a couple OTS packs. We'll be sure that I'm going to be there, making sure that we're going to try to live stream for you guys, so that way anyone who can't make it out of state or hearing this afterwards can at least go check out the VODs that we have, which will be on our official Twitch stream that you can find in the Linktree link down below. You'll find our official one, or it'll be right above where you can see Mr. Perfect's one. But you can go down there and click and catch us on stream, trying to show the world all the different decks and styles that might be available to the newest format, as it is the first New York case tournament that is live immediately after Age of Overlord. So I definitely want to make sure that we get as much coverage as we can. And I'm also going to be there, obviously, hosting it for you guys, making sure the event runs smoothly, hanging out all the pricing and whatnot. So it's going to be a great time. Come on down and hang out with us. Also, be sure to catch Brad, aka Mr. Perfect, live streaming on Twitch every Saturday at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. His Twitch is going to be in our link tree. It's going to be right underneath ours, the semi-limited one, so you can click on both of them, follow both, make sure that you're following both for your own sake, because Saturday nights he streams. It's usually about deck testing, deck theorying. He's interacting with his chat, and you're always going to be making sure to get his attention in some way, shape, or form, because if you do, he'll be bringing it to me, and when we talk, we always go do a Friday night wrap up where we talk about some of the things that happens on a stream, and then if they're good enough, we'll be sure to bring it out on the podcast. So be sure to interact there as well. Getting into some news today, though, we have two new segments to our short form content. One of them is going to be called Local Legends, which I will be going to locals here and far and wide, and as many as I can attend, regionals, OTS championships, case tournaments, YCSs, as many as I can at least get to. But it's going to be called Local Legends, where we're going to feature deck profiles from rogue or low-tiered represented decks, and introduce the world to some of the many local legendary duelists that we have at our locals in Syracuse, New York. It's crazy because I haven't been to locals in the last couple of weeks. I've been doing a lot of podcast related things and making sure that I'm like, the life is in order and stuff. But I went to locals for the first time in a couple of weeks, and I immediately got into an argument with Junior because he was just playing this monstrosity of a 60 card pile deck that had like Exodia and like Dark Magician, and then like it had Buster Blader in there for some odd reason. And I was just more mad that he had the fucking audacity to say that it was a Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Magician authentic deck. And I was like, nigga, I have never seen Buster Blader and Buster Whelp Dragon in a Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck in my life. How dare you over here slander this man's name like that? You can't be doing that. But like I said, it's going to be introducing all those. You're going to be getting a little bit of a taste of how the Syracuse players are and whatnot. So it's going to be a fun time. Also, Mr. Perfect is starting his own short content series called Perfect Pulls, where he will be featuring different types of product openings, such as OTS packs, booster packs, and even boxes when we're feeling lucky, when we get some from the sponsors and whatnot. We're gonna make sure we get one to give away soon because of the new set arriving. But make sure to check out for those. We're gonna be dropping those on our YouTube channels for the YouTube Shorts. We'll be making sure we drop it on our TikToks, and we're also gonna be making sure that we drop it on our Instagram Reels. So be sure you're following all of those sites to be in on all the action, fresh off the press, as the moment say. Shout outs to fresh off the press. But getting into some news for the actual community, I would say most people, especially at the time of recording, have heard that the OCG land has actually created a new ruling today. And as of today, the new ruling reads as such. Previously, if a monster has an on-summon trigger effect, that player that controls it at the moment of the monster that being summoned onto the field will be the one who activates the trigger effect. But this changed from today onwards because Konami has updated 2 rulings involving such scenarios into the database. Now, the current controller of the monster will be the one who activates the trigger effect when that trigger effect can be activated. If your opponent activates the effect of IP and special summons SP Little Knight in a chain to your activation of Triple Tactics Talent, and you gain control of that newly summoned SP Little Knight due to the effect of Triple Tactics Talent, you will be the player that will activate the first effect of SP Little Knight, being the player who has activated talents, which is crazy because that allows cards like talents to be a little bit more crazy and hectic in the OCG, allowing you to take things or snatch, steal, and allow you, the person who's stealing, to activate even though you didn't commit to it or use the materials for it. So I think that's actually kind of interesting how they're going to start play testing a little bit differently, utilizing these new rulings to their fullest abilities, I should say. But over in the TCG, I don't think we have so much to worry about because these are only OCG rulings and they only apply to the OCG as of right now. Some of the judges in the judges lounge have been talking. I've been in that group for a while now, just kind of in and out, and they were been really adamant about posting that although the judges in the TCG territory should not reference these changes and should continue to rule as we have done previously, meaning that no one will activate the effects because the person who summoned it doesn't own it and the person who owns it didn't create it or summon it. And then they also say when any such changes should be included for the TCG territories, we'll provide additional information on the official website for the TCG. Until you see something announced officially by TCG territories, you should not utilize the information for the OCG. So basically saying don't get shit twisted if you are at a big event, especially like something like YCS Indie, which is going to be up in a couple days, especially at the time of recording. You should need to be playing the way the TCG was, where like if you were to summon a Guardian Chimera and then that gets a Triple Tactics talented, they're going to null and void the interaction because you didn't make it, and then the person who did make it doesn't own it, so they don't control it for the attempt to trigger. So that's going to be good for a little bit, and I definitely don't think it would be a game changer if it were implemented over here in TCG land, because I don't see the format being the same between OCG and TCG. We kind of do tend to have our own little thing going on, so it's definitely cool to see how the OCG is trying to create a little bit of variety. Or maybe they just got sick of just hearing people bitching and complaining about those current rules, but those are not going to translate over to the TCG as a matter of fact. But just be sure to check with your hard judge at any of the events that you'll be going to, just to make sure that any of your questions or concerns may be answered by someone who is going to be officiating your tournament and be doing all the rulings. So, but like just with that, guys, I just wanted to keep it very, very short. We're going to be running out of life points really, really soon. Just a reminder to be showing up to that case tournament, which is going to be this Saturday, October 21st. It'll be at Unplugged Gaming in Manlius, New York. It'll be $25 for all the entries. It'll be included with the OTS packs. We're going to be doing side events, win-a-mats, and then we're going to have giveaways. Obviously, I'm going to be doing a raffle for everyone who comes in, just that way everyone has a little bit more fun when they show up. And we're going to be doing a little bit more of the content creation, probably another segment of Local Legends. You never know. So be sure to stop out there and come have fun with us as well. And then also be sure to click on that Linktree link, follow all those social sites, be sure to be up to date, subscribe, follow all those things so that way you are up with all of the antics that we have going on. And be sure to catch Brad every Saturday at 11 p.m. Eastern Central Time. He will be on Twitch, which is also provided in that Linktree link, and you guys can go catch him. He will be streaming, doing deck profiles, deck theory, and deck testing, and then you guys will also interact with him as he does other things like plays Apex and other games as well. So be sure to go out there and check out the stream. It's a blast, and he'll be having a lot of fun. I guarantee it. We could be in there making him do the wildest things. And also be on the lookout for that sponsored content. We're going to be doing Local Legends and, as already been started, Perfect Pulls. So be sure to go check out those on our social media and share those around with your friends and enjoy those as we keep those rolling. But without any further ado, I'm all out of life points for today's episode. Just wanted to keep it brief with you guys. I am Player X, and this has been the Semi-Limited Podcast. Thank you and good night.